Hey Shakers, and welcome to Worth Your Salt, the podcast that shakes up your marketing game in the health and wellness industry. Worth Your Salt is brought to you by Salt Marketing. Salt Marketing helps health and wellness practitioners build trust and authority to attract a steady stream of inbound wellness seekers. For more information, you can visit us online at saltmarketing.co. I'm Jennifer Oraquah, StoryBrand Certified Guide, Marketing Strategist with Salt Marketing, and your host for today's episode of Worth Your Salt. Now, longtime listeners of Worth Your Salt know that most of the guests I talk with got into health and wellness because they saw an opportunity to serve. Whether they found solutions that worked for them personally and wanted to share that with others, or saw a need in the market for their unique perspectives and talent, it's that drive, that calling to serve that most often motivates entrepreneurs in this industry. But that inspiration can be a challenge when it's time to grow. So if your background doesn't also include marketing and business skills, being an entrepreneur in health or wellness can be a tough road. My guest today is here to share with us that it doesn't have to be. Chiropractor Dr. Mike McIntyre has built and leveraged a powerful local network that not only brings him new patients, but a community of champions. At McIntyre Family Chiropractic in Somerville, South Carolina, Dr. Mike focuses on foundational correction, utilizing the Gonstead method, and has grown his practice through referrals and word of mouth. Dr. Mike, thank you so much for joining me today on Worth Your Salt.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I'm thrilled to talk with you more and learn about your practice, what makes you different, but most importantly, how you've built such an incredible local referral network. But let's start with your background. Tell me about your journey in the early years and what inspired you to become a doctor of chiropractic.
I'm a chiropractor because it saved my life. That's what saved my life when I was 19 years old, and I had a severe back injury that basically sidelined me for about a year. And the medical community basically just told me I could either live with it, keep taking pain meds, or have my spine fused. And I didn't accept any of those as an answer. So I suffered with it for about a year. And I accidentally found a chiropractor the same day that I scheduled a back surgery, and I don't have any scars on my back. So I went and saw him walking with a cane, barely able to do anything. And after my first adjustment, I walked out without the cane and pretty much figured out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Wow. Yeah, that's something. So you made this decision. What were some of the challenges you encountered early on when you were building your first practice?
So the hardest part with, my business and any business is finding people to come use your services. So my first office I opened was in outside of Fort Worth, Texas. I moved halfway across the country to some place where I basically knew nobody. I had one friend within 2 hours from where we were living. So I had to figure out ways to meet people and find people who needed my services.
So what kind of strategies and tactics did you try in those early days to attract new patients? Was it about the kind of care you were providing or about the way you positioned yourself? What was it about?
The kind of care I provide is definitely what separates me in the industry, but that's really not what people were looking for, or only a small portion of my people directly look for the type of chiropractic that I do. So when I opened in Texas, the biggest thing that I did was just start meeting other business owners and, just getting involved with the community as much as possible and trying to network and meet people who already knew the people that I was trying to help.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was kind of a natural evolution. So how did you discover local networking as really a strategy to attract new patients?
I'm just reaching out to other mentors that I had. They talked to me about things like chambers of commerce and Toastmasters or joining a gym or a church, and then obviously a BNI group has been tremendous help growing my business. So really I was reaching out to people who already made as many mistakes as possible to help me try to avoid them.
Yeah. Well, and I want to dig into BNI a little bit more here in a minute, but
sure.
But right now you have a website, you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. What things have you done to grow your business?
I am still very much a boots to the ground, shake as many hands as possible guy. So I do have all that social media stuff. I probably should do better with it. What works for me is just getting out and meeting people. So I would actually walk down the street and go walk into other businesses and introduce myself and shake hands and meet people. And that's what's worked best for me. That's been my main focus on marketing. I know some of the other stuff definitely has a lot of room for me to grow, but that's what my focus was. Especially earlier on.
That certainly suits your personality for sure. All right, Mike, this is great inspiration for anyone working on growing their practice. We do have to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, I want to learn more about Business Network International, BNI, and how you've been so successful with it.
The Worth Your Salt podcast is grateful to our partners and sponsors. If you've ever looked at your website and felt like it was a little meh, the website optimization guide from Salt Marketing will make your site something you can't wait to send people to. In this custom guide, we'll begin by unlocking your SEO potential, discover hidden opportunities to improve your visibility and ranking, to drive new clients to your door. Then, we will help you master the best keywords. We'll help you understand your ranking relative to competitors and help you incorporate the right keywords to make sure you're generating leads. Once those prospects reach your site, We'll help you optimize your site for easy navigation and compel them to take action. You will get a clear picture of your customer journey and what steps you can take to move your prospects from awareness to advocacy. Finally, you'll get a prioritized checklist of specific actions that will help you take advantage of your entire website optimization guide. Get started today. Visit us at saltmarketing.co/services to learn more. That's saltmarketing.co/services. Get a website that not only looks good, but does good for you with your custom optimization guide from Salt Marketing.
I'm back here on the Worth Your Salt podcast with Dr. Mike McIntyre, owner of McIntyre Family Chiropractic. And Mike, I definitely want to talk about how you've used networking to grow your practice. But before we get into that, I want to learn a little bit more about your positioning. How do you differentiate McIntyre Family Chiropractic and it's really a highly competitive marketplace.
Oh, it's super competitive. Anywhere you go, especially in Somerville where I am now, It's easy to find a chiropractor. So my technique is definitely what sets me apart, practicing the Gonstead work. What I really try to do is give people specific, unique chiropractic care that's based on the challenges that they have. So I, precisely find out what their issues are, what I can do to help, and find the best ways to correct it, utilizing the Gonstead technique. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one who practices that technique in the entire Low Country. So it definitely sets me apart from the market. There's several different franchises down here. There's a lot of family practices, but Gonstead's definitely what makes me stand out.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. What is that comprised of?
Well, I have several different measures basically to find the problem and figure out the best way to correct it. I utilize digital x-ray in my office. So I firmly believe that working on someone's spine is too important to not have all the information. So usually if they're old enough to stand there and let me take an x-ray, I'll take an x-ray so I can see what I'm working with. And that's whether it's kids or even somebody who's, 90 years old. I want to know if there's any arthritis or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we take the x-ray and be very specific on how we kind of go after that side of things. Detailed case history, re-exams every time somebody comes in before I adjust them. This is what my patients have told me, that the difference is they feel like an assembly line in other places and they don't get that with me.
Nice.
So being really focused on patient care every time somebody's in here.
Well, and certainly that draws people to you. But let's get back a little bit to the networking and how you've used that to grow your business. Let's talk about BNI. Give me a little bit overview about what that is and how it works as a networking platform for someone who's in a very service-oriented business like chiropractic.
So BNI was great for me, especially growing my first office. Like I said, I was in the middle of a place where I didn't know anyone. And BNI put me in front of a bunch of different other entrepreneurs and business owners. And it really helped me grow as a business owner, too, because I was surrounded with that network of people who were, motivated to grow their business so they could better serve people. I think getting involved with BNI, that grew my whole first practice. That was pretty much the only thing I used for marketing outside of me walking around and shaking hands. Mm-hmm. And that practice was so successful that when we decided we wanted to move, I brought on a partner who eventually bought me out, and that office is still open.
Tell me a little bit about how your involvement in BNI has kind of influenced the reputation of your chiropractic office.
So the good thing with BNI is all the members are held to a very high standard. So one, it puts it on you as the business owner. No matter what service you're giving, you have a room full of people who are, putting their stamp behind you as well. So if I refer somebody out to somebody in the BNI group, I know that they're going to get the best service because they're kind of bound by our standards to do so. Mm-hmm.
And plus, you have to see them every single week when you go to the meetings. So.
Yes, if you do somebody wrong, you get somebody staring down at you.
Yeah, exactly. So specifically, how has BNI contributed to business growth for you through those referrals?
So, it puts people. The hardest thing with what I do is getting people in the door. I'm really good at keeping people in the door. It's difficult to get somebody to come in the door and having a referral network. I think we have 36 members in our group now. So I have 36 people who are basically out marketing for me all the time. So it puts people in the door, and I can't help them unless they're here. So
yeah, for sure. So tell me, are there any other innovative approaches that you've taken to generate new business and stay ahead in this competitive field?
I think the biggest thing that I focus on is patient care. So, I'm all referrals. So I focus on patient care and keeping people well and keeping those people referring me as well. So I have not only do I have, that network in BNI, but every single person in my office is sending me referrals too.
Nice. And focusing on that, I think that having that singular focus probably contributes greatly to your success. All right, it's time for another quick break. We'll be right back after this. Hey, Salt Nation, you're listening to the Worth Your Salt podcast. I'm Jennifer Orqua, and today I'm talking with Dr. Mike McIntyre about how you can leverage local networking to grow your practice. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so be sure to join Salt Marketing over on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and let us know how you're connecting with the people who can provide referrals. So, Mike, we've talked a lot about how you've grown, but what about your vision? What's ahead for the future of McIntyre Family Chiropractic?
My vision is for this office that's Gonstead Chiropractic focused, the technique. I want to take over the Low Country. I want to open several more offices and put other Gonstead trained chiropractors throughout the whole area, so we can just be there to serve all the families of this community. Mm-hmm. And honestly, there's not enough chiropractors to cover the influx of growth here. So the growth is the vision for the future.
I love that. And I know you had a recent milestone birthday. It was a significant point in your career. Yes. So what reflections do you have on your accomplishments and the lessons learned so far?
I could never have imagined being in the spot that I'm at right now when I'm, at 40 years old. That was my big milestone.
Right. I know.
It was 40. But, I'm the guy who kind of came from nothing. And this was always my vision, to be here and to help people. So having the growth and be where I'm at right now, I'd never believe it in a million years.
Well, and I think that's definitely a reflection of your personality and the person that you are. But given your experience, what kind of advice would you offer to somebody who's an aspiring chiropractor where they're looking to build their own successful practice?
I think if you focus on, having a servant's heart and just helping whoever's in front of you at the time, it's really easy to worry about all the other aspects about running a business. So having good partnerships and, employees or whatever to let you focus on I'm here to help people as their chiropractor. So if I can focus on that, it just helps me, serve better and keep that vision of having a servant's heart and just helping people.
Great advice. All right. So if we want to learn more about you or about BNI or about McIntyre Family Chiropractic, where can we go?
Well, I'm on Facebook. It's McIntyreChiroSC.com is my website. You can call the office. My front office manager, Kate, she's really good at answering any questions or anything. She's pretty well versed in what I do, and she's a big part of the whole patient care experience as well. So there's plenty of info out there. And if you need information somewhere else, all throughout the country, I have a referral network that extends the whole country. So if anybody needs any help with that, I'm always happy to find somebody as well.
Okay, outstanding. Of course, links to everything that Mike mentioned, including information on BNI, will be available on our website at saltmarketing.co. But right now, it is time for our lightning round questions. These are a few quick questions that I ask of every guest. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. First question is, what's something about you that surprises people?
I'm a farmer, I guess. I have my joy comes from, we have donkeys and horses and goats and
nice
pigs and everything but a partridge in a pear tree. That's where my joy is. My family's, I have young kids and they're growing up around that, and it's just living a nice, simple, quiet life, I guess.
Yeah, that's nice. All right. Next question. What is your favorite thing about the work that you do?
Helping people. Chiropractic literally gave me my life back, and I'm gifted with experience and miracles in my office every day, and it's really cool to be a part of that.
I like that. Gifted with miracles. All right. Next question. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
He used a little bit more colorful language when he told me, but he said what helped him was being unauthentically you. So don't worry about scripting or any of that other stuff that comes with it. But if you just truly just be who you are in front of people, whether it's a CEO of a hospital or a janitor in front of you or a whatever, it's just unauthentically be yourself, and you will grow and shine from that. Very nice. All right. Last question. Who or what inspires you? I am inspired every single day when I look at my family. So I have my wife. We have been a couple for 24 years. Wow. So you can do the math. We've been together since high school. Yeah. She has been with me through ups and downs and obstacles beyond measure. And so she inspires me every day. And then my four almost 5 children just give me, that's where my why comes from. So focusing on every single thing I can do to keep smiles on their faces. Very nice. My husband and I are hitting 22 in 2 days. So I know exactly what it takes to get there. So it's a lot. Mike, thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of Worth Your Salt. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great. I also want to thank our listeners and let you know that if you're ready for your Worth Your Salt debut, tell us about your expertise by emailing us at grow@saltmarketing.co. Be sure to subscribe on our website so you never miss an episode. Finally, leave us a review or give the show a handful of stars wherever you get your content. That's all for this episode of Worth Your Salt. Be sure to join me again next time. In the meantime, let's get out there and shake things up. That was fun. Yeah.